I don't gotta worry about that until like October anyway. I have work to do. I probably shouldn't let the others know of what I'm about to do, considering how I just got back from an event.
Star, please don't. Not after that.
Nah, how about we play Skibbity Toilet Obby?
Okay, I'll come with you, as long as you get in 3 hours of gameplay for ad revenue!
If I want to fulfill my promise and complete this Halloween EToH event, I need to do it alone. I could go back to sleep, but I can't rest on an unfinished job. Well, I guess there's no use delaying it. Let's get it over with. Just one extra thing to get done for Halloween. Welcome to the EToH Halloween event. While this isn't going to be a full episode, I still wanted to take the time to go over the events in this game. First up being Tower of Webbed Fortress. You start off in a cave with this lantern mechanic. Hit a lantern, turn it on, and you can see. Thankfully, all of the stuff in this event really isn't that punishing, but I am going to go more into detail here. There was this really finicky jump, but that's fine, I guess. Once you make it out of the cave, the main part of the tower begins. Once again, there are a lot of safety nets, so you can't really lose too much progress. There are these wheels that are like kinda confusing and stuff and caused me to fail a jump, but I did get the hang of them. Now, the outside sections look scary, but you can't exactly lose progress on them since they're netted. You do get jump scared by a spider. Getting up a bit of a distance, you have to complete 3 small challenges in order to get ingredients for this spider, which has mechanics like platforms that fade after a certain amount of time. Oh, the last ingredient is me, what a shocker. So after that segment's over with, you go ahead and... You know, I think this is what happens when you build an obby game centered around exploiting Roblox's physics engine. They do have a unique recovery section for if you do lose progress on that, so that's kinda neat seeing that. I wouldn't have otherwise. After a bit more gameplay, you get to the second half of the tower. This heavily uses blocks that either fade in when you get near them or fade out when you get near them. It had heavy Deltarune theming with prophecy stuff all around. There was a dark outside with the lantern mechanic, still kinda easy and not punishing, but it's cool. And a boss fight at the end where you need to dodge attacks and slay the spider using swords that you get from other paths. In my opinion, as a main event for this thing, it was kinda well made. I'm not expecting as much of a Halloween this time due to the fact that they're still working on a bunch of other stuff, but I'm still happy with what they're coming up with. Anyways, on to the next tower. Steeple of Velvet Delirium has a theme I really like, that being a funhouse. Now, due to this being a 12-minute hard Steeple, I can't really go into detail too much, because despite the difficulty being called hard, it's actually 5 difficulties less than my hardest completed tower. This Steeple centers around balloons, which give you short jumps. While it was a bit tricky to get down for the harder parts, I love how they actually lined up the mechanics gameplay feel with the theme. It just feels so bouncy. I love the colored environment feel here. The final stretch also felt really fun to try out, with it being kinda unique with its balloons. It overall was really cool. Again, sorry I couldn't go into detail more, but there's only so much I could talk about. It was short and sweet. Now, this is a bit of a gimmicky steeple, but in a good way. The first floor needs you to go ahead and find these soul things. Then it goes into a descending section, which means there's a safety net, but it teleports you back. After that, there's this sequence where you need to sort the difficulty books in a library. Then after some netted outside gameplay, and an endorse segment, you go into a cave where you eventually get put into a first-person maze. And then you encounter an angry ghost. Introducing or reintroducing the Cosmic Clones section. Cosmic Clones will follow you around and damage you whenever they touch you, so you need to be moving at all times. It's like a pseudo-time section. And then what happens when you do that? You gotta do another one, but with 2 of them. Thankfully, this is the final stretch, with you getting out via helicopter once you do that. For some reason, I didn't think this was the end and was anticipating another final stretch, but it was. The music being Don't Forget alongside the lanterns made this ending pretty cool. A nice fun steeple that's slightly harder than the other ones. Now, while that is all of the main stuff, there is one more tower that we have to get done. And you know, it's not an EToH video without some suffering. Now, you're probably thinking, Star? A mini tower with 3 floors? This should be easy! Counter argument, 1, this is peak intense, and 2, I haven't played in months. Alongside that, there's basically a safety net every floor, which means the gameplay itself is probably remorseless. This is what the whole video's been building up to, so let's get started. Floor 1 is just standard mini tower stuff. Client objects with conveyors and platforms that fall super fast. You needing to pull off super tricky jumps in order to not fail and start from the beginning. And generally speedrunnable gameplay. This tower is extremely consistency based. So once you get a jump down, you can generally replicate it most of the time. This was the easiest floor for me, as it only took me around 12.5 minutes on my first attempt to get to the next one. Floor 2, though, is different. It starts with this cutscene of you walking to the right, with this hand coming in and claiming you as its puppet. After that, you're confined to staying in this circle for the entire floor. You can move the circle by hitting certain parts, but you can't leave it while it's in place. I find this to be a pretty interesting game mechanic. It turns normally easy floors kinda difficult. Kill bricks also send you to the start of the floor, which can be kinda buggy. This instance made the circle invisible but not gone. In any case, you need to be careful at the top of this kill brick thing, because you could get hit by a kill brick while there. Are you kidding me? Okay, so after that, there's a cutscene where you're no longer a puppet. Great. Welcome to Floor 3, also known as my personal hell. Meet the choke points. First off, off this jump where you have to flick off a ladder onto a falling platform and then jump over to another platform. You get sent back to the floor 2 net if you fall, but since you're free from the circle, it becomes a lot easier, with you basically skipping most of the floor. It's kind of finicky, and you need to be really consistent at it or you're just gonna loop fail. Next up, the falling platform wrap. After a section where you have to watch your head, you have to go ahead and do this jump, where you have to jump off a falling platform, wrap, and then land on a boost pad. If you don't have perfect momentum, you fail the jump. You have to line it up in a very specific way. Then you have one of the hardest jumps in the entire floor. You have to do a ladder flick onto a boost pad where you have to fly over to a truss, do a wrap onto a falling platform. Then you have to do another wrap off of that falling platform off to another boost pad where you then go to another truss. It is no wonder I failed this jump so many times. Then you gotta do whatever the hell this bounce jump is. Go completely backwards after flicking up to a boost pad. Pull off this. Do this super scary conveyor jump. And then, after all of that, you finally beat the tower and get your aura. This took me over 3 hours for a peak intense mini tower. But after all that, I can say that I've still got it, completing the Halloween 2025 event. No sign of that spirit guy though, it doesn't matter anymore. Now, you'll probably think that my reaction at the beginning of the video was a bit dramatic. And while in the context of this video it probably is, this is only the beginning. Because over the next few months, I'm going to make several miniature EToH videos, being smaller entries dedicated to certain areas leading up to the big finale. Because they're working on a 50-floor obelisk coming next year. And when that comes out, I'm going to make my biggest and final EToH video. But for now, I think I'll stick to the smaller entries. Anyways, I should probably get home before anyone finds out I'm gone. See y'all in the next round of Tower Torment. Alright, made it home safely, and oh.
Hey, Star, I wanted to ask you something. You know that empty convenience store? What if we turned it into a marketplace? Where we can buy and sell things we have as we please.
I mean, I guess, since I kinda don't know where any of the things I have came from. Could be good to have stuff that I buy for once.
Amazing! Let's go ahead and meet at the empty shop so we can discuss what to do from there.
So, we essentially need to set it up first, right?
Of course! Right now, though, it's closed since I haven't added anything to it yet.
Really? It looks pretty finished to me.
Don't be silly, there's nothing wrong.
Hey, you're Starism, right?